You the Hey everybody, thanks for joining my workshop. I appreciate that. Today's workshop is on where are we going and what's holding us back. We're going to go around real quick and just say who you are and how you found out about this workshop, if you don't mind. So we'll start with you, the real Ed Miller.
Hi, my name is Ed Miller, the real Ed Miller. I'm the owner of Exquisite Marketing, mostly catered towards the legal industry and other areas, kind of related, professional services. And I work with Steve, and that's how I got here today.
Cool. Tom?
Well, hey, everybody, all new faces to me. Really thrilled to be here. My name is Tom McManaman. I own and run a brand marketing and advertising agency called Stimulus Brand Communications. I put all of those details in the chat. So if you care to do the same for yourself, that'd be awesome. Because I'd love to connect with the real Ed Miller and find out more. And I met Steve through, online networking. I had him as a guest in one of our networking groups for a while. And I saw the invite to this session. So I said, sure, let's do it.
And it turns out in a past life in my IT business, I used to take care of his brother's company, a law firm, for like 50 so years. Okay, Robert, you're up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bob Leach. I'm a managing member of Circuit Energy Group. We work in the commercial energy space, helping clients with a large energy budget manage that budget more efficiently.
And how did you find out about our event today?
I found out, I believe it was either through social media or an email of some sort. I don't really recall. It just looked interesting. I signed up. So here I am.
Glad you're here. Melissa.
Hiya. My name is Melissa Adebato. I work with the Huntington Learning Centers in the Wayne location and Livingston. I found you through the chamber. You were part of our little calendar of events. I've seen and noticed that you have different meetings throughout the year. So I decided to partake in this one. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. I'm born and raised, graduated high school in Livingston.
Oh, get out of town. All right. So you're well familiar. So
Yes,
good.
I'm my Livingstein and Miss Esther.
Hey, Steve. Hey, everyone. My name is Esther. I'm with RCS Professional Services. We've had the pleasure of working with Steve for a while, and today is a special day, not just because I'm here at Steve's event, but also because I have the pleasure of having Norman here, who's also part of our team, and that I get to do a lot of networking. I don't always get to have Norman's presence, which is a special gift. So, Steve, you brought out all the good people, as you do, and I'm really happy to be here with everyone.
Mr. Norman. Unmute.
I'm Norman Dweck, also from RCS Professional Services. I work with Esther, and I also work with Steve because Steve works with a few of our clients. So we're an MSP here in New York and Atlanta and now Florida and California. And we take care of a bunch of other companies' technology. And we strategize with them where they need to go and what they need to do and try to get their business working as well as and great as it possibly can as far as technology goes. Let's see, Steve's been on some of our webinars. I think we've done a webinar together, yes?
Yes, we have.
And so, yes, I get to be on one of his now.
Cool. Thank you. Pam?
Hi, Pam Hamingson, Fortrex Technologies. We relieve the pain and suffering related to managing your compliance and risk programs. So I'm happy to help out anybody who has questions in that space. And I certainly connected to this event through an email. And Steve, I think we connected through V50. Is that an accurate? Yeah.
That is correct. We got a one-on-one as well.
Yeah, I recall that. So, and I'm here in Brooklyn, New York. There's my bridge.
Oh, cool. Samant, do you care to unmute yourself?
Hello,
You're up.
I'm up. Yes, I'm here.
Tell us about yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, you want to tell us about who you are and what you do?
Me, I work in the apparel industry, doing business out of New York primarily. And I've been doing this for over 25 years now. It's time to retire,
Mhm.
but I like to stay connected and see what's happening in the world.
Cool. Glad to have you. So it's also a good friend of mine. So thanks for being here. I appreciate that. I am gonna go ahead and start my presentation. But first I need to share my screen. So let me do that. Can everybody see the ugly mug of me and Four Pillar Coach?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Hey, so it's going to be a short presentation. I'm going to try and spend more time on the actual exercise, which I think you guys will get more value out of. This workshop is being recorded as well, and I want this to be interactive. If you have questions or thoughts, or you're stuck, just speak up, or you throw it in chat. I'll try and monitor that as well. There it is. Today's exercise is designed to help you get clarity on what drives you forward as an organization, what's holding you back, as well as what's your destination as a company. What's the objectives? What are you trying to get to, and how are you going to get there? I'm just going to move my pictures across. So we're going to go over all these topics. So I've been a serial entrepreneur for over 40 years. I've built, bought, and sold 6 different tech companies. Actually, it's 7 companies now, but only 6 of them were tech companies. I am a certified scaling up coach, and we work in 4 main areas that every business owner has to get right, and that's people, strategy, execution, and cash. And people being right people, the right seats on the bus, doing the right things, hopefully ones that hold themselves accountable. Strategy, having a good strategy, knowing your core purpose, your vision, your mission, your goal, and disseminating it down to your whole team so everyone understands and you're all working together. Execution, good meeting rhythms, executing on your strategy, and cash. Because growth sucks cash. In a downturn like we're heading into, you really should have 6 months reserve in order to survive it. That's what the experts say. So scaling up has helped over 80,000 companies dominate their industry. We use many tools to help you get clarity on your business and your journey. These are some of the exercises that we actually use here up on the screen. There's hundreds, if not more. One of the nice things about scaling up I like is I'm not locked into only using their exercises and tools. I bring in a myriad of experiences from my past as the strategic coach, which is a business entrepreneur coaching program, Colby, and others as well. Everybody definitely has the exercise that we emailed out. Is it printed or a way that you can actually write on it?
Yep.
Or post-it note it or whatever? Great. So a little bit about me. For Melissa's edification, that's me in 1979 doing a handstand on a skateboard in Livingston High School's parking lot. And I am really big on, climbing high, climbing far, and reaching for the sky. I've just been a serial entrepreneur my whole life. To next is me as a Marine, because I am a Marine. My daughters Scarlett and Corinne. My son Michael refuses to take pictures, so you won't see him in any pictures, but I do have 3 children. My dog Tucker, who some of you that have been on calls with me before have heard Tucker and his howling because he is a beagle hound. And that's me on the top right corner, jumping off a 35-foot pole. I am deathly scared of heights, but I believe in being uncommon and uncomfortable. The weird thing is, if you look at the picture below my feet, that's a little round disc that has 1 nail in the middle and it spins.
Mhm.
So getting on top was not easy. I can't lie. And I exited my last 2 companies, Company Like Computers and Cloud Nation, in 2017. Enough about me. How many of you ever felt like this guy or gal? Like you're constantly dragging people uphill, trying to get them to follow you to your vision, and you're just not having any success at it. Or maybe you feel like this girl, where everybody's throwing all this information in your face and you're just trying to survive it, or you haven't figured out how to delegate it yet, so everything comes your way. Well, what coaches do is they help companies grow and scale by strategically changing you into this, where everyone is relaxed, all having fun, heading in the same direction towards the same goals and the same company vision. I love this photo as it also highlights how important it is to be aware of the winds of the market as well. So understanding what's going on in the marketplace and around you, what lurks around you, is really important and is really helpful and beneficial. So let's get into it. We're going to jump to a mural in a second, but everybody said they have it, so we're good. This exercise is really great if you can do it with a team. If you have a team of people, get different perspectives, different ideas, have conversations about it, and discuss it. Make it interactive. Use a whiteboard, sticky notes. I'm going to show you what I did with a case study of a client that I did work with. And it's really about the wind that drives your company forward, the anchor, things that are dragging you down, holding you back, the rocks or the iceberg, as we can call it, the things that are lurking out there that you're unaware of, that may be a future issue, and you should be trying to start to think about them now. And your short-term, medium-term goals and your long-term mission, getting to that island on the right-hand side. Let's see if I can switch over to my mural. So Mural is interactive, collaborative software. I thought it'd be quicker and easier if I didn't invite everybody to join in and move things around. But what I did was I took an actual workshop I did with a client. This is their actual sticky notes and their actual board. They're a tech company. And I manually, not bad. I figured it's all right. It's functional. And then we had them, brainstorm and write down all the different things about each of the four areas, and then come up with their answers on the board. So I put the actual information here. We're going to give you 10 to 15 minutes to go through it, depending on how much time people need. This is an exercise that could take hours. You don't need to have all the answers. The whole idea is to understand how it works and be able to do it for yourselves. But the wind are the things that are propelling the team forward, like inherent team strengths, competitive advantages of what you're building, and solid processes. The anchor, like I said before, are things that are slowing the team down, gaps in the team, competitive weaknesses, subject areas to invest in. The rocks are things that you aren't currently being considered, but they're risk points for the team going forward. Areas of tension, bottlenecks, scaling, lurking competition. If you can get ahead of your competition, that's like huge. They'll never catch you. Island is the things you're trying to get to, your short-term, your midterm goals, and your long-term vision for the company. So to give you an idea how it works, you write down either on the sheet itself, where where the wind is behind the sail. And I'll show you, for instance, if I was to handwrite this down, this company is Apple authorized, which is huge to be an Apple authorized dealer. There's not many left in the country. They have tech curiosity drives their company forward. Oh, look, somebody else wrote curiosity, so I'm just going to stack it. So if you're doing this with a team, stack the ones that are the same, facilitated, or have somebody in your group do the facilitation of it as well. It's good for them. We care for our clients drives them forward. Their desire to help. Mac expertise. Whatever they are, just write them down when we go through the exercise, when we start, and then, we'll kind of go through and we'll discuss them a little bit. Things that are holding this company back. And again, this is just this company. This is, my world. You're going to have your own world. They have a lack of process. The logistics and workflows are not working properly. They have a lack of documentation, a lack of accountability. They're having trouble hiring the right staff. Lack of cash. Look, poor cash flow. We'll stack that one. Getting the idea? Okay, same thing down here. We'll get the iceberg. What's lurking below? Well, the change in Apple authorization. So if Apple decides to withdraw their authorization on dealerships, well, that can really affect them. That's something that they're unaware of right now. But if they're unaware of a lack of loss of a key employee, or lack of redundancy, security concerns. I like this was one of my favorites, burnout. That's not something you could foresee, but you know, that's happens in companies, right? Future threats with IT identity management. Competitors create better mousetraps. On the where are we trying to get to? What's our harmony, right? No inventory trauma. I guess they've got trauma in their inventory. Everyone's aligned on the goals of the company and the core values. People are living the core values. We got a duplicate on goals of core values. Alignment around efficiency and procedures. Process driven. Reorg unity and teams. Department process accountability. Selling more contracts. I guess that's profitable for them. Process clarity, defined all following it, and core values part of the daily vocabulary. And that's kind of a big one because a lot of people have core values in organizations, but if you ask an employee to recite the core values, they can't do it. Or they know one or two of them. And the whole idea is everybody should be on the same page, all with the same set of core values. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this back here and shrink it down a little bit. Can you all still read the headings here?
Yep.
Okay, good. I got some head nods. That's good.
Yeah.
Down below here. All right, super. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put what do you figure? 10 minutes good on the clock, 15 minutes? Don't everybody answer at once. It's fine. I can just figure it
Yeah.
out.
I think 10.
I'm gonna put 10 minutes on the clock. Take your time, think about it. Write down, kind of like I put the sticky notes in those sections, just write down on the piece of paper. Or if you got small sticky notes, use those and think about it as it relates to your company and your business. Okay, and try and think outside the box.
Mhm.
And your 10 minutes starts now. I will be here, but off camera as not to distract you. If you just put down a few, it's fine. I'm an overachiever, so I got like many. And it doesn't really matter what order you start in. I like to start in the positive order of what drives me. And if you have any questions while you're doing it, just speak up. I love the fact that nobody's stuck. That's awesome.
Probably only because we have scaling up in the organization, so we do have some conversations like this.
Good. Have you guys ever done this exercise?
Nope. Not in this way, no, I like it.
You guys got about 5 minutes left. And by the way, if you finish, you can just raise your virtual hand and I'll know when you're done. Whoops. Sorry about that. You guys got 2 minutes. All right, time is up. Get your hands up. No, I'm kidding. Would anybody like to share? Why can't I make my screen bigger? Anybody like to share theirs or share any information they wrote down?
I'm happy to do that.
Rock on.
Yeah, I mean, one of these kinds of exercises that ask us to consider and write things down quickly can be very revealing because you got to do it quickly, right? Steve, you know, my company is a brand marketing and advertising agency, and I've been running it virtually for 22 years, and yet pretty highly successful without staff. I've always tapped into a host of senior talented people that have been through big ad agencies like myself for whenever the work calls for it, or whether you know I have a specific skill set or team that I think is better for the work for our clients. That's the way I've operated. But I've always struggled with the whole idea of scaling. And you know, for our what's propelling us forward is creative problem solving. You know, we do work in every media, and it's all about creating problems, creative problem solving, not about showing you how great our portfolio is. It's that we operate very efficiently. Clients ask, you know, who are they going to see? Who are they going to interact with? I tell them, me. You're going to see me all the time. That's a great comfort and connector. They know who they're going to be operating with.
Yeah, but is that scalable?
No, well, that's where I'm only addressing one quadrant here, you know, but that's what drives us forward. Okay, right now. It has for 22 years, but that's one quadrant, and they all fight each other right in the middle, in the middle of the island. You know, experience in multimedia. We do work in every media. Creative reputation. My particular personal reputation is very highly respected. And my sense for strategy, because we're a strategy first agency before creative. And we're largely built on referrals. About 95, 98% of what we get is based on referrals. So those are all strengths. You know, what's holding us back is not being known as a particularly strong agency in the digital world, even though we do that. You know, there are agencies who popped up in the last 5-10 years that are strictly digital agencies. And they're winning that war. You know, that kind of work is just part of the overall mix of what we provide. Staffing, you know, there's an advantage to running lean and mean, and there's a disadvantage to not having staffing. You know, we rely largely on freelance. I'm close to retirement, and I struggle with how much do I want to, you know, take on debt to add staffing and resources and tools when I've, you know, come to this point with no debt. So that's probably the real clincher, which is the struggle with me. And just the whole concept of there's only one of me. And like I said, when we first started the meeting, I was out of system for a whole week last week with COVID. So I relied a lot on clients to be good to me and say, let's not worry about that deadline. You know, our objectives, do you want me to go through the 4, Steve?
No, just give me a few of each.
Yeah, okay. So our objectives is really to more specialize and be better defined in our offering, as opposed to we do it all in everything. So therefore, what do you specifically do, Tom? And to, of course, be more profitable. Some of the icebergs are just you know, competing agencies that we compete against all the time. We compete and win against agencies with, you know, 150 to 300 employees, but that doesn't make it any easier. You know, it's competing against these agencies. Companies who are afraid to or are risk averse to going with a boutique firm. You know, they might go with a big agency because it's safer, as opposed to a boutique sized firm like my own. And so we have to talk our way through that sometimes, maybe too often. And lastly, another iceberg, there's a lot of resources and tools that a firm like mine provides that are becoming commoditized. We do a lot of corporate identity, and yet more and more people will buy, spend $100 for a logo online, or they'll buy templated designed pieces and have someone in-house do them. And that's what we're up against. It's the stock sourced materials that people will have a lower value quotient on. So that's just a few of the top lines in my little search for my island.
Thank you. And, hopefully you got sunglasses and a pina colada, or whatever it is you drink.
And the right music.
Melissa, would you mind giving us a few of yours?
Sure. We help children do better in school, right? So we have it pushes you along through a lot of the hurdles. Things that are hard are teachers' retention of your part-time staff can be pretty challenging, and the amount of time to train them up can be challenging. We're looking at some of the things that are coming up. We're going for some of the government contracts that the state has here in New Jersey to help on a larger scale. And right now, in my building, I'm having a hard time staffing appropriately. If I add 400 kids to this mix, that's I can't allow my staff, my part-time, my other staff to worry about that. I have to just figure out how I'm going to do that. And what's on the other end is really helping a lot of children. I mean, it's pretty amazing, but also money, great. Just being able to retain those contracts, a whole different side of the business. So there's a lot to it, but that's my journey.
Cool. And it is a journey, my friend. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
How about you, Mr. Leach?
Yeah, thank you. I have similar challenges and objectives as Tom does as an independent entrepreneur. Circuit Energy Group is me. And I have channel partners from procurement perspective, solar, lighting, efficiencies, as well as the installation of electric EV chargers. And I have experts in all categories. Sometimes the challenges are actually the utility companies themselves, as they're public companies and they're more concerned and have a fiduciary responsibility to their stockholders as opposed to their customers.
Got to be an anchor.
Right. So along with the utilities being an anchor is, the client understanding how they actually use their energy. You sit with a CEO or a business owner, and their primary function is to run the business, and you have to deal with the appropriate people on their team. Could be their facilities manager, could be their controller who's actually managing the budgets, and some of the unforeseen is the national and local directives. Here in New Jersey, we've got an energy master plan that was set with goals for 2050. Our governor has redone it recently, keeping them same goals that they had initially set, only they reduced the time frame to 2035. Took 15 years off, which we're not prepared to reach. So there's many different aspects in moving parts of the energy markets, primarily like every other business, supply and demand. And when they put restrictions on supply, it increases not only demand, but as well as the costs, and creates additional market problems.
Cool. Thank you. Esther, you want to go?
Sure. I just put a few in each. For wind, I put team camaraderie, market opportunities, being a resource for clients that's more than just IT, and a strong account management team. Ability to adapt quickly to clients' environments because of our size, but still where we're small enough to adapt, but not too small where we're just relying on one person. We're a team of 25 about. People a trusted team that people know and trust, strong leadership, because it always starts at the top, and ability to adapt to technology and automation because we're a tech company and have some expertise, namely Norman, in that arena. Hopefully I understood all these, but anchor, I put creating middle management and being able to promote from within, something that we strongly believe in. Keeping up with the speed of new products because technology moves so fast and there's always something new to learn and share with our clients, and evaluating and eliminating non-profitable agreements so that we're not wasting time on the wrong things.
Cool.
Um,
You got for icebergs.
yeah, I put the cyber landscape, so potential for attack on our clients or on us. Low barrier to entry in the space. There's a lot of competition, always has been, especially in New York. And rising prices and costs for us and our clients due to the economy is something on our mind. And then the island, I put building more process. There was little overlap here, but building more process and more redundancy with people so that there's not like a few people doing too many things. So spreading out tasks and responsibilities amongst the team. Doing more R&D just to keep up with with the demand and what's available, especially in the AI space, and expanding product offerings to new spaces.
Cool. Very good. Thank you. You guys should look at the face chart if you haven't already.
What is
We'll
it?
talk- The face function accountability chart. We'll talk about that later. Pam.
Yep, okay, so, my wind. We have an absolutely amazing team and tremendous work ethic, a deep bench of knowledge in everyone's individual space. And that's really, I know I can go to anybody at any time, any hour, literally any hour, just about any hour of the day, and you know, get a question answered or whatever the case may be. So that's huge. And people are smart and there's no politics. Holding me back. We have a CEO who is rather old school, and he's a firm believer that you can hire cheap and train them up. Which, okay, that works. I'm not, opposed to training people up, but then, if you keep them at limited salaries, as soon as they're trained up, they're going to go someplace else, and you're gonna have to start all over again. He's starting to come around, but that's been a challenge, and he doesn't want to throw money, I shouldn't say it like that, but yeah, very limited resources available to us as far as marketing dollars or unforeseen, because I work a lot in the regulatory landscape, so working with whatever the feds are going to promote.
Sure.
Who knows? I mean, I try and stay on top of it. We have some, I do a lot of reading, and so hopefully I'm anticipating what's going to happen, but you just never know. And probably the other thing, it's half unforeseen, half holding me back, because we're selling what we sell won't make you money. It keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you from having to spend additional money. So sometimes we get all the folks who are lined up and they're like, yeah, we need to do what you've got going on. Let's do it. And then the person at the top of the food chain who holds the checkbook, they're like, well, no, this isn't going to make us any money. We're going to keep doing this whole program on a spreadsheet. Okay.
You gotta show the ROI.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's, yeah, anyway, and then objectives, we want to very much solve the problems you have today and then cure for tomorrow so that you don't fight as long as you continue developing the program and stay on top of it. You shouldn't have to, deal with these challenges anymore.
Cool, thank you.
So that's
So
me.
we're gonna go to Norman and then we're gonna finish up with another marketing person in.
Okay, so Esther and I actually had a whole bunch of overlap. Nice work, Esther. So for the wind in our sails, I think we both had a great team. She had it in some respects, and I've got it also. Whatever marketing is doing is definitely driving us forward. She happened to mention account management. I'm mentioning the other side of it, which is the getting the new clients. They're killing it at the moment. For us, process is key, and the fact that we've codified a ton of processes has helped us so much, and it's intrinsic into the way we think. We always want to codify things that we figure out, and that's really helping us a lot. And the ability to learn new technologies. On the anchor side, things that are holding us back, we all, Esther and I both had essentially underperforming agreements. Contracts that we sign with our clients that don't really have great pricing to it and don't perform well, and they hold us back because they use a lot of resources for not a lot of money. And we work in technology, so as Esther said, it's constantly moving super fast, and there's a lot for us to keep up with, and there are we could do better if we knew more about a whole bunch of technologies. It's a constant learning experience, which I love, but there's always a ton to learn. So the fact that we don't know as much as I would like us to know holds us back. The icebergs in our way are losing a major client. That could deal a blow to us. Losing a key employee. Downturn in the economy would slow us down. And like Esther said, a major breach. It would be, that's one of the things you lose sleep about at night if you work in an MSP, one of your clients going through a major breach, or even us. And as far as where we're going, what are our objectives? All processes codified. And I say this with kind of the understanding that that will never happen. It's something we always work towards. There's always new things coming up. So the idea that we're always codifying and always, making new processes is something that we always strive for. Enough clients at the right price to implement the help desk of our dreams. We have a great help desk. Again, I said we have a great team all around, but there's always improvements that can be made. And if we had enough clients at the right price, we could staff and run systems the way we have it dreamed in our head. And that would be awesome. So
Again,
there we
that's
are.
what they call it, short, mid, and long-term goals and vision. Because it's a goal. It's not necessarily a destination.
Okay.
Mr. Ed.
All right, my story is very similar to Tom's and Robert's, I guess. It's just me, but my wind really is my experience in the industry in which I serve. 30 plus years, I've been able to build a great network nationally, and a lot of my business and leads come from that network through referrals. And I come from a blue collar family where my dad told me very early, better get educated, because if you have to make a living using your hands, you're going to starve to death. But I didn't lose that desire to be able to build stuff. So I think that drives me too. I really help like helping clients build, their firms, their practices, their revenue streams. So I think that's what my wind is. The anchor is, it's just me. I was in-house for 20 years and went on my own. And what I realized is it's just me. I'm not a great business person. I allow scope creep from clients. I like to give things away where I probably shouldn't. And with that, I'm not just good at building processes and stuff. So, and what it amounts, I think, when I'm thinking about this, is really just comes down to time management. every day I feel like that girl in the slide, just trying to put out stuff or getting, hosed down. And then the next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock at night and I feel like I didn't get anything done. So, so that's kind of my anchor. My icebergs or rocks, there's technology out there. I do a lot of content producing and things like AI maybe would be, people can think they could go on their own and customize content using like ChatGPT or things of that nature. There's also big national kind of firms now leaning towards the legal industry. And they're not great, but they're coming at a price point, which makes it hard to compete on. So that's kind of some of the icebergs out there. For my island, I drew a little headstone on my island because, that's where I'm going to end up. Hopefully on a nice place. But realistically, what I'm really trying to get to is if any of you ever worked with lawyers, they have a certain reputation, right? So they're very busy people. If you're on the defense side or corporate side, they measure their lives in 6-minute increments. If you ever get billed by them, you get the 0.1s, right? Which means when they retain me, we have all these great ideas, but then they get too busy and don't want to collaborate. So I really want to work with nice people who are going to make the investment on their end to collaborate so we can get the results that we want. So that was pretty much a quick summary of my exercise.
Hey, Ed, I'm the 8th out of 9 kids, 4 of whom are lawyers, and the oldest is a judge. So you can imagine our dinner table conversations.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
love it. I love them, and I love the industry. But again,
Yeah.
just when you're working with them, if they're too busy, then again, if it's my I don't know, what drives me is building something that just gets frustrating because then
Yeah.
you feel like you're alone.
So did everybody feel they got some value today?
Yeah.
It was just a little bit cool. I want to share.
Definitely.
Can you see the books I have up?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like to try and share some additional resources. One of the books I'll go over the first one if you have an organization is The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. Great book. What Got You Here Won't Get You There by Marshall Goldsmith. And Fish, one of my favorite reads, A Proven Way to Boost Morale. It's all about a fish market, teaching an executive some really good life lessons. It's a small little paperback. It's just a great story. So next, before I let everyone take off and go, there it is. So if any of you would like for me to come and do an individual workshop for you or your organization, I do that. I'll come on site or I'll do it via Zoom. Reach out and let me know. It's hard running a company. And it's sometimes a good idea to get a third party outside view or just someone to bounce things off. So as a coach, I got to throw my little plug. If you know anybody that can use my services, if you can use my services, love to have you, would love to help you. And that is basically my presentation. Did you all get that info? Do you need the screen back up?
Yeah, please.
I saw some head pops and I figured, oh, they didn't get it. There you go. Now, in the next day or later today, I'm going to send out what's called an NPS, a Net Promoter Score. It'll take you less than 5 minutes to fill it out. Please, please, please do fill it out. It helps me get better at doing this. It helps me become a better coach, a better person. Be honest. If you thought something was bad or wrong or horrible, write it down. If you thought I scored a 0, put me down as a 0, whatever it is. But please fill it out and send it back. I'd really appreciate it.
You're never a 0, Steve. Come on.
I'm a hero, man, not a 0.
There you go.
All right, so we have any
Awesome.
questions?
Steve, thank you.
No,
Thanks.
thank you. This was
Awesome.
really good.
Thanks.
This is good to take the time out to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people don't spend enough time stepping back and working on their business. They're just so
Yeah.
busy on that treadmill trying to get
Yes.
a sale, close a deal, get a contract, and you're just all day long. There's so much benefit to turning off all your technology, get your head clear, and just work on one thing at a time. It'll really help you push it forward a lot faster.
Steve, I learned a long time ago, like all of the things that we take away and learn from these networking groups and these seminars don't help if you don't act on them quickly.
Yep.
Because you mean to, but you put it to the side, right? The more you act on things quickly, I made a whole lot of notes. You should be doing this, change this, Tom, fix that. And if there's 10 of them and I act on 7, I'm pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah, and one of the things a coach does is give you a foot in the proverbial you know where to make sure you're actually doing them and following up on them. Not that people need to be monitored or micromanaged, but I have a coach. I think every coach should have a coach. And if you look at any amazing athlete, they all have coaches, multiple coaches for a reason.
Definitely.
Thank you for putting this together.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys for coming. I appreciate
All
you.
right.
Great job. Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks.
Steve.
Be well,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
You say.
Bye-bye.